Live from the virtual Darlington Raceway, it is ARCS Xfinity Series action coming to you on a Friday night. The race is about to get started very soon. Very happy to be with you guys tonight. It's a playoff race. 5 drivers are going to be still in the running. We're going to get you a quick look here at the points. As you can see, these are our points at the moment. Nifty Agenda, Term v. The Prophet, A Poor Boy, and Timid Toaster all tied for first place, as is this first race. And these 5 drivers, it's going to be really important that these guys have really good races. Once again, kind of a light field, counting through the number of drivers that are scheduled in this race. It looks like we're going to have around 10 drivers, and so lots of points to be made, but everybody's going to get that amount of points, especially if only 10 come in. That's going to be a guaranteed top 10 finish for these drivers. We're going to take a quick second and show you a quick word from ARCS. Always something going on here at ARCS, and tonight it is going to be Xfinity Series action. Darlington is going to be a tricky track for these Xfinity cars. Usually a ton of grip with these cars, which means, especially in 3 and 4, it's going to be important that these cars get woed up big time coming into 3 so that they can get that car turned and execute coming off of that turn. Really long straightaways, and so if you mess it up, you can lose a ton of time all the way down the backstretch. So it's important that you do it right. These drivers are going to be looking to do it right. We will take a quick break. When we come back, the race will be underway. The green flag is in the air. The 66 of Ha Ha Boog going to qualify on the pole. And so that's good for him. But already the 18 around. That's going to be a big crash back there before we even get this race really going. You see the 18 of Turn V. He is all the way around. That's going to be bad news for him at the start of this race. I assume these drivers will race it back to the line. You see those front two cars out there doing a great job, but they're going to slow down, I'm sure, and we are going to try this restart one more time. A quick caution is going to bring these drivers back together side by side. Pit road will be open this time by, I think the field may be split. Do you come down and take tires? Do you not? It looks like the 66 going to dip down pit road, at least for the moment. It looks like he does follow through. Most everybody in the top five comes down. Looks like every car on the track coming down pit road so far. And so, that's not going to be a big shakeup among these drivers. It's going to be really interesting. Rock NASCAR in the chat. Appreciate it, buddy. A lot of different things going on here at the ARCS Racing Network. I'm just one of the pegs, and so I kind of messed that up just a little bit. Shout out to my good buddy SKD. He's been working really hard on these graphics. Of course, Ryan Pinnell not with us tonight, but we know that he is watching, so we appreciate you, buddy, and all that you do for us here at ARCS. But back to it now. The one car looks like he is going to be able to come off of pit road first. And that's going to be a big deal for that car because I imagine they all took tires. Twisted Navy going to be your leader when we come to the green flag once again here at Darlington. Two by two, these drivers are going to take them through the gears and try to get that car up to speed as quickly as they can. The green flag will fly. The one at Twisted Navy will be on the bottom. The 66 of Boss E Geo runs second. I'm sorry, of Ha Ha Boog runs second right there on the outside. It looks like the 66 was able to get a great run on that restart. He gets around the one of Twisted Navy easily. The one car pushes up into the wall. That's going to cause a little bit of a backup. Those cars battling it out up there. It looks like the 08 of Arch Enemy for the time has that second place position, but he's facing strong competition from that 74 car. Want to catch up with that driver as well. Moldy Muskrat now running in the third place position. The one of Twisted Navy who started in first on this last restart. He's going to fall back a ton of spots. Now sitting there battling, but two cars way off back there. Going to try to check and see if we can figure out who that is. The 66 of Ha Ha Boog going to come around and possibly take the caution flag here. We will see if these cars do slow down. It looks like they will slow down. The 08 and the 74 running second and third respectively. The 60 of Boss E Geo in that gorgeous blue paint scheme. Loving that from you, Boss E Geo. Gonna run in fourth right here. Having some issues getting this race kind of started. A little bit of bugs to kind of work out with these drivers. And I think they'll get it together. The Xfinity Series usually runs a very clean race, but as we said at the top of the show, this is going to be one of those tricky races. One of those races where the driver is going to have to do a lot of work to make sure that he can stay where he needs to stay. Right now, all these drivers going to come down pit road, possibly take 2 or even 4 tires and get gas. But Moldy Muskrat and the 18 of Turn V, who's trying to recover from that early spin, now runs second under the second caution here at Darlington. Single file under caution. Now these drivers decide to double up. The 74 and the 18 will lead them to the green here. Maybe a new face the fans aren't used to seeing, but definitely not a face that's new to ARCS. Just Pooh Bear, fresh off a little break. Had some schedule situations kind of loosen up, and so he decided that he wanted to come back and race with us, and we're so happy to have him. A beautiful 51 Mountain Dew Camaro he is driving, having a little bit of an issue there on the outside. He's going to lose maybe 1 spot to the 60 of Boss EGO, but still runs inside the top 5, having a really good race. The 74 of Moldy Muskrat out to the lead, but the 18 of Turn V, fresh off a great truck win, a convincing truck win last Tuesday night, about 72 hours ago in the trucks. But now you see the 18 and the 74 both into the wall. Now you see the gap between the 74, and they're 3 wide for second place back there. The 1 of Twisted, the 66 of Haha Boog, and the 18 kind of got into a little bit of a tussle, but that's going to bring the 66 of Haha Boog into second place. The 1 of Twisted Navy running third, but the 74 staying out on old tires. That really kind of worked out for him towards the end of this stage. Want to make sure we can try to get you a lap counter. These drivers continue to do all that they can. We're riding along with the 1 of Twisted Navy, and you saw him hard into the wall, now facing competition from the 18 of Turn V, who stayed out as well. And so he's going to be trying to catch him and get around him for third place. But the battle for first is heating up. The 66 of Haha Boog has caught the 74 of Moldy Muskrat, gives him a little push right there in the backstretch. He's going to try to back off that corner and kind of load up the exit. We'll see what kind of run he can get off here as he tries, and you can see that there is the run. He's going to get right there to the quarter panel, and now he's going to have the preferred line going in here. Side by side at Darlington, kind of tricky. The 74 able to keep it off the wall there. The 66 going to have to let up to make sure he doesn't push up, but still able to keep it right there with the 74. They are still side by side coming into 3. The 74 tries for the crossover, and now the 74 right there at the quarter panel of the 66. It's going to make the 66 have to run high, and he's hard into the wall. The 74 gets too much apron and spins it out. That's big because that's going to be 1 car, which means the 74 is going to be all out by his lonesome. That's going to yield second place there to the 18 of Term V, but he is facing competition from the 1 of Twisted Navy. They are both catching the leader, who is now the 66 of Haha Boog. spread out for first and second, but the battle for third is super strong. The 22 of Nifty Agenda leads this pack of 4. The 8, the 60, and the 1 look to make up ground, throw a blanket over the 5th, 6th, and 7th place car. This right now is where the race is. The 60 of Bossy Geo would probably like to be a little bit closer to the 66 of Haha Boog, but the 8 of COT Tommy, super fast car. The 22 of Nifty Agenda, fast as well. And so it's kind of, you just got to be really careful, because even though there's 9 or 10 cars in this field, you've got to pick your passes. You got to make them. And at Darlington, it's not easy to make clean passes. You really got to set the car up ahead of you for the run off of the exit. The 60 stuck behind the 8 of COT Tommy. Those two drivers starting to lose just a little bit of ground. The 22 of Nifty Agenda also losing ground to the 2 leaders. The gap between the 66 and the 18, about 2 seconds there. The 66 definitely has a strong car. He's been plagued by lag issues throughout this season. Looks like the network is working for him well tonight. That car is setting sail here in the final stages of this first stage. 66 of Haha Boog going to take 3 laps to go. The 18 of Term V is still running at second, but the 22 of Nifty Agenda has now caught the 18 of Term V, and the 22 is going to want to get around him quickly, because if he don't, there's still plenty of laps here that the 8 and the 60 could catch up as well. And so the 22's got to plan his pass. Leader going to come to 2 laps remaining in this stage. But right here is the race for second between the 18 and the 22 of Nifty Agenda. 2 laps to go in stage 1. Leader should come, and take 2 laps to go, this time by 1 extra lap than what I anticipated. My apologies, but you see how far out the 66 has gotten from the rest of the field. It looks like the early race jitters are behind them. These drivers able to keep it clean at this point, and the 18 of Term V also able to keep the 22 behind him. The 22 has had some type of issue, as well as the 18. The 8 and the 60 going to go around the 18 of Term V. He loses the spot to Nifty Agenda as well. Should be a 1 lap to go here at the start-finish line for the 66 of Haha Boog in this first stage. But big issues for the 18 of Term V right at the end of the stage. The 66 of Haha Boog will be your stage 1 winner. Stage 2 is yet to come. The pace car is off the track and on to pit road, which means that the green flag will fly right here. The 8 of COT Tommy has done what he needed to do. He is on the bottom for this restart, but the 66 of Haha Boog gets a great jump again right there on the outside of the track. The 8 still able to keep it beside the 66. That's going to shut down his exit spot. The 60 into the wall as well as the 66 of Haha Boog, but the 66 just barely touched it. He looks to be okay. This is the race right here for the lead. The 18 of Turn V running in third. The 60 and the 22 fighting it out for fourth. It looks like the 60 will just overtake the 22 of Nifty Agenda. Really good racing that we're seeing right now. The 8 of COT Tommy in second. The 18 gives him a little shove right there on the backstretch, but the 60 trying to continue to do what he has been doing and take off from the rest of this field. The 66 of Haha Boog looking to lock himself in to the championship round. But it's just the second stage. The 60 of Ballsy Geo still runs third. The 74 of Moldy Muskrat with that big issue late in stage one is back into fourth place. And so these guys just continue to go around the track, try to keep it off the wall, which the 74 has done. He's going to lose a spot to the 22 of Nifty Agenda back there. And now the 22 runs fourth. $60 with a huge run, tries to get underneath of the 8 of COT Tommy for second place. The 8 gets a nice run off of exit and is able to hold him at bay. But it looks like that 60 is really rolling them corners on the bottom once again to the quarter panel of the 8. And now he's able to get right up to the door of COT Tommy, sends it in there into one, and the 60 gonna take that spot from the 8 of COT Tommy. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how it's done right there. The 22 of Nifty Agenda slowly but surely starting to make his way back into this conversation for second place. We saw the 60 just overtake the 8 of COT Tommy. The 8 wasn't going away as quick as the 60 would like, but it looks like now the 60 starting to make some ground on the 8 of COT Tommy. Now just one car to pass. Is the 60 better than the 66? This is going to be our first opportunity really to see these two cars duke it out. You see the gap right there between the 66 and that 60 car of Ballsy Geo. And so a lot of ground to be made up for Boss to try to catch the 66 of Haha Boog. If a caution should come out, though, it's going to start on the outside. And so it just all depends on how this race is going to shake out. Right now, if it goes green, though, the 66 has a clear advantage over the rest of the field. Some huge lag from the 60 of Boss E Geo. Not quite sure what the issue is with that car. Good news for him is that he's all out there by himself. The 8 into the wall there trying to keep it off, but it did not work. And now he's way down on the apron. He's going to give a spot to the 22 of Nifty Agenda, who slides now into third. So the 66, the 60, and the 22, that makes up your podium at the moment. But there's definitely a lot of battling, especially back there for that third position that the 22 is just able to get around. Now riding along with the 60 of Boss E Geo, who had that lag earlier. It looks like for now it's been taken care of. Doesn't seem to have been making up too much ground on the 66 of Boss E Geo. Still plenty of time left in this race for him to do that. And of course, that infamous third stage, which could change everything in this race is still yet to occur. So the 60 doing what he can, trying to keep himself in the best position that he can. The 66 comes around to get 8 laps to go here in this second stage. But just like the first stage, he has taken off from the rest of this field. The 60 trying desperately to catch up, but for right now, to no avail. We follow this battle for third, the 22 of Nifty Agenda, with a slim lead over the 8 and the 08. But it looks like the 22 now starting to catch a sniff of the 60's rear or bumper, which may give him some draft and a pull up to him. And we may be talking about this battle for second place. Still plenty of laps to go, around 7 or so in this stage. And so the 22 definitely has enough time to get to the 60 of Boss EGO. The 60 needs to make sure that that car doesn't push up too much in the middle of the corners, but also coming off these turns, these cars can get really loose, and sometimes these controller guys, they have that issue with the car popping way down onto the bottom. You can definitely have that with a wheel as well. And Boss EGO, one of the best ARCS drivers on the circuit, and he does that with a controller. And so I am definitely not banging on his skill or anything like that. Just one of those things that he has to make sure he doesn't do when he's coming off those corners is get really loose and go shoot it down to the bottom. That's going to give the 22 that advantage. Right now, the 22 has kind of caught the 60 of Boss EGO, but for the last lap or so, hasn't really gained much ground. Now, he starts to get a little bit closer and a little bit closer coming out of 4. The battle for second is heating up. The 08 want to catch up with that driver. The 08 of Arch Enemy starting to try to catch up to the 22, and the 60 started to there for just a second, but then started to fall back. The 60 still in second place in front of that 22 of Nifty Agenda. As we know, the 66 of Haha Boog well off into the distance for the lead. These drivers are going to hope for a caution, but with probably around 5 laps to go, you're not going to get one. And so the 60 needs to concentrate at this point on keeping that 22 car behind him right now, doing a great job. The 66 is going to come around, take 3 laps to go in stage 2. The 60 doing a great job of staying in front of the 22. The 22 makes up that final podium position so far. The 08 of Arch Enemy just outside the top 3, running in 4th. We will try to check and see who is running in 5th. Might be hard for us to catch that. You see the 66 still off to this lead. Lap 17 of 19. 3 laps remaining here at Darlington in stage 2. The 66 of Haha Boog led a whole bunch of the first stage and won that stage. Looks like he is going to lead almost every lap in the second stage and win this stage as well, barring any type of issue. A lap car coming up, but he's a little bit off in the distance. The 66 might just want to manage this gap and get around the field. He hits 2 laps to go in this race, or in this stage. He's going to come around and take 1 more lap to go, and that will be the end of the stage. That lap down car way down onto the bottom. That's going to bring the 66 up to him. You see now, the 66 comes into 3. The second place driver comes out of 2. And so definitely a gap has been built. 1 lap remaining for the 66 of Haha Boog. You see him way out there in the distance. He's just going to try to keep the car together. And in one piece, it looks like the caution is going to fly at the end of this one. The 66 of Haha Boog, just like stage 1, wins stage 2. Going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. The 66 of Haha Boog is your stage 2 winner. We're going to have 30 laps in this final run. Just about all the fuel run that these guys are going to be able to handle. So these guys are going to have to be perfect, especially if a caution doesn't come out. The 66 right beside the 60. The 66 going to have to start on the bottom this time. Looks like he does a pretty good job. The 60 going to find a line or a lane and get down in front of the 08 of Arch Enemy. The 60's in second, and this is going to be the 60 of Bossy Gio's chance. This is going to be his opportunity to try to get to the 66 and do something with him. We see the 22 into the wall. He is going to lose a position to the 74 of Moldy Muskrat. The 66 starting to build a gap between the 60 and the 08. All 10 drivers on this field lined up in that virtual snake that we see coming down the backstretch. The 66 off to a nice start in stage 3. Definitely has the car to beat in that Toyota. The 60 of Bossy Gio has been super strong all night long, but it looks like so far nothing for the 66 of Haha Boog. The 08 of Arch Enemy has run a strong race all night long. Sets right now in third. The 74 of Moldy Muskrat running in fourth. And the 22 of Nifty Agenda, he is going to round out our top 5. Nice little battle setting here for 6th. The 18 of Term V fights the 1 of Twisted Navy, as well as trying to keep the 8 of COT Tommy at bay. These 3 drivers battle for 6th place right now in the top 5. The 22 of Nifty Agenda trying to make a move. I'm sorry, the 74 of Moldy and Muskrat trying to make a move on the 22 of Nifty Agenda. He does not succeed. You see those cars, they're pushing up way tight on new tires, and they're trying really hard to make sure that these cars do not hit the wall. The 74 just to the quarter panel of the 22, going to push him up just a little bit. They're going to be side by side here for fourth place. The 22 is going to get pushed all the way up, and now he's got a battle with the 1. The 74 going to sail right on by. He takes over 4th place, and now the 22 has to fight desperately to keep the 18 and the 1 behind him. See the 66 of Haha Boog, and you see the gap now between him and the 60 of Bossy Gio. The 08 of Arch Enemy still runs third, but the 66 starting to pull away now from the field. Not quite sure what these guys would have for him if the caution would come out. We'll see it again, but for right now, the 66 of Haha Boog, he's on rails. The turbo boosters are engaged, and that dude is flying away. Great racing we're seeing so far, but not at the front. The 66 pulling away from the field. The 60 of Ballsy Geo has gotten away now from the 08 of Arch Enemy. The 08 having to battle the 74 now for third place. But these top two drivers, they're kind of the class of the field right now, but the 60 trying so hard to stay with the 66, not able to do it right now at this moment. Battle for third place, though, definitely heating up on the track. It is between the 74 of Moldy Muskrat and the 08 of Arch Enemy. Right now, the 08 able to stay in front of the 74. But like we've talked about, it is really hard to make a clean pass. The 74 nudges the 08 right in the rear. That's going to get the 08 really tight, and he gets into the wall. The 74 going to be able to make that pass. And sometimes here at Darlington, that's the only way to make a pass. Sometimes you just kind of got to push that guy up out of the way. Not something that you always want to do or that you mean to do, but when you're put in that circumstance, the 74 said it's a go time here in stage 3. And so he's going to take over third place. The 60 of Ballsy Geo now starting to pull back to the 74 and the 08. The 74 is going to most likely get an opportunity to try to pass the 60, but the 74 are going to have to keep it together. The 60 doing a great job right now so far, but maybe he pushed it too much. Those tires might be wearing, and that could be bad news. But you see the 74, he's loose off of exit, just like the 60 was right there as well. And so these drivers definitely struggling at this racetrack. This is not one of those racetracks that you just show up and race. Definitely got to hone your skills, and these drivers doing a great job of showing what these ARCS Tier 2 Xfinity drivers can really do. Sorry about that, folks. Not quite sure what's going on. But we know that the 60 of Ballsy Geo, he was off the track, and he surrendered the position there to the 08 of Arch Enemy and the 74 of Moldy Muskrat. And so the 66 of Haha Boog still leads, but the 08 of Arch Enemy now runs second. The 74 of Moldy is going to run third. The 74 was able to make a pass on the 08 earlier. Looks like the 08 figured out a way to get back around the 74, and now they run second and third respectively. The 60 of Ballsy Geo continues to fall. He runs fourth, but the 22 of Nifty Agenda coming up to try to battle for that position as well. Is the 74 going to have to do what he did earlier and push the 08 up? Has the 08 learned something here that's going to prevent the 74 from doing that? That's the answers that we're going to have very shortly. These two drivers battling it out for second place. 12 laps remaining, so the leader's going to come around. He's going to take 11 laps to go. So in 6 laps, we'll turn off the cautions, and that is what the 66 is racing for. He's off to a huge lead. Both these two drivers get loose coming off the exit, and those things are what they're dealing with. Those loose race cars coming off, you got to be really careful because you can lose a ton of time. Good news for the 08 is that the 74 did the exact same thing. Now the 60 trying to come back into this picture, and he drags the 22 with him. Very shortly, we could have a 4-car battle for second place here. But so far, it's all 66 of Haha Boog. He's going to cross the line with 10 laps remaining in this race. 74 of Moldy Muskrat going to come down pit road. Not quite sure if this was a scheduled stop, but it must be. We know the 74 hasn't been involved in any type of issues. The leaders still stay out on track, as well as the 66 of Ha Ha Boog. Maybe the 74 trying to short pit a little bit. Maybe he just did not have enough. We said that these drivers are going to be really close on fuel. The 66 is going to come around and take 8 laps remaining in this race. And so it's just going to be really interesting. And on second thought, it looks like fuel may not be the issue. These drivers desperately going low on tires. You see the 08. Now he's going to come down pit road and get service. He's definitely having handling issues with those wore out tires. Leader's got about 7 laps to go. Can he make it? Sorry about that. Can he make it the rest of the way on tires? We don't know. We can't possibly know for sure. He's got a huge lead over the field. Was that the plan? Can he nurse it now around the field? But he's still staying out on the track. And so if these drivers came down, we see the 08 of Arch Enemy, who was just running second. And so the 2 immediate drivers behind him came down pit road, the 60 of Boss EGO, the 22 of Nifty Agenda. They are going to now take over second and third, and they remain out on the track. And so now those drivers, the 74, especially the 08 of Arch Enemy, he had a lot to lose by coming down pit road. Now he has to hope that these top 3 drivers are going to blow a tire. Running desperately low on tires. Leader's going to come around, and he's going to hit 5 laps to go in this race. So the cautions are going to be turned off. If you have an issue, it will be the end of your race. There is no coming back from this. A huge lead the 66 has on the rest of the field. The 08 back out on the track, the 60 and the 22 now battling it out for second place, trying to stay out as well. They have not pitted either. And so this right here is the race for second place. The 22 high, the 60 just gonna let the 22 go. So we know the 60 definitely trying to conserve tires and make it to the end. But now it's all about this driver here. Just a few laps remaining, should be coming around to 4 to go. So can the 60 make it around 4 more circuits at Darlington Raceway with the 4 tires that he has? They haven't pitted since the beginning of the stage, and so they've ran these tires absolutely dry. The 66 doing everything that he can to get this in. 66 still running his race. The 08 flying. He is coming up on the 22 of Nifty Agenda, and you're going to see the difference here in tires. The 08 already right up to the back bumper of the 22 of Nifty Agenda. Look for him to make this pass very quickly. He does on the outside, and so you see these drivers are making a ton of time on the rest of the field because they came down early to take tires. The 66 just having to let the 08 by. The 66 is around. We're going to have to see if somebody's going to be able to get around him, but he's extremely slow. Not quite sure if that car blew a tire, but he comes down pit road. This might surrender the lead to the 60 of Ballsy Geo. The 66 does not come down pit road, but it does surrender the lead to the 22 of Nifty Agenda. And now it's going to be up to him. Can he make it the rest of the way around this track? I believe we're either on the last lap or 2 laps remaining. The 22 extremely slow. trying to get around this track. It looks like the race actually. The race is over. The 22 of Nifty Agenda is going to squeak out a winner on very low tires. The 1 of Twisted Navy is going to finish second. The 8 of COT Tommy going to finish third. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Got me, buddy. Go for Nifty. Go for Nifty. You got me, buddy. Twisted, you got me. What's up, bub? Let me do these interviews and then I'll get with you. Back live here from Darlington Raceway. An incredible race that we saw from every one of these drivers, but especially that 22 of Nifty Agenda. We will absolutely get to him in just a moment. But first, COT Tommy, you come home, you're going to finish third. An incredible race, a hard fought race, but it was definitely different back at the end there with the tire strategy.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Didn't think I'd be that close on tire. I guess I kind of just wasn't paying attention to it the first two stages, but was able to save just enough. I think I came across the line with like 2% on the right front. So pretty cool. It was a fun race. Darlington's a tough track, and these guys put on a real good show. Congrats to Nifty and Twisted, who wasn't even going to run this race and came home second. So that's pretty cool.
Once again, great podium finish from you, Tommy. Second place, Twisted Navy. Twisted, from where I was sitting, you kind of came out of nowhere. You were running top 4, top 5 most of the night. But that tire strategy, that kind of worked out in your favor. You come home second. Was you saving a little bit of tire from the beginning, anticipating that? Did you get halfway through and realize you needed to do it? How did that last run go for you there, Twisted?
I was about halfway through. I realized the tires were going to come into play the last few laps there. Yeah, I didn't have a great car all night, and yeah, it really turned into a tire strategy race. I went across the line with 6% on my right rear. So yeah, it was great to come down here and run with the Xfinity guys. Glad to come home second.
Well, it was a great, hard-fought race for you. A second place silver trophy will go to Twisted Navy, but none did that last tire strategy better than your winner, Nifty Agenda. Nifty, you had a really good race. I think the 66 of Haha Boog was probably the car to beat, and I think everybody knew that, especially after that first stage. But at the end, it was all about tires, and you did exactly what you needed to do. Take us through your last run and what you did to get yourself out on top there, buddy.
Well, after the first couple of stages, I learned it was going to be all about tire management. And for the first half of that last run, I didn't push it. I just kind of coasted, and kind of had a little back and forth going with a couple of guys, and that's because it wasn't pushing all that hard. And at the end of the race, I think I just didn't have as much fall off as the rest of the guys. At least that's my perception. And I came out on top again tonight. That's wonderful.
Absolutely incredible run. Celebrate that victory there, Nifty Agenda. You did an awesome job tonight, buddy.
Thank you.
Well, and that is going to do it for us. Make sure that you check us out on Sunday night. A Squared is going to be running Darlington. That's going to be a fun race. You do not want to miss that. SKD is going to be bringing that to you live on the ARCS Racing Network. And then, of course, a Monday night, Lightning will be live over on the iRacing side from Rebels Racing Network. Lurk and Tom Gaming with a huge win last week. And we come into the final race of the season. Cody Pinnell has a huge lead on the field, but it's going to be really up to about 3 drivers, and they're going to have an opportunity to win. So you do not want to miss that. Of course, don't miss Truck Action Tuesday night. That's going to be on the ARCS Racing Network. And so there's a lot of stuff going on this week and next. But for now, I am Deplorable Me. This has been ARCS